What's going on, fellas? I have a simple question for you. Are you tired of having the same shitty results from dating apps and, matching with girls who you're not very excited by, who aren't that attractive? And are you tired of being unafraid to approach the beautiful girls who you see all the time in person? Tired of sitting on the sidelines and just waiting and hoping and dreaming of that girl that you want in your life? Now, I'm making this video for my younger self because this is a video that I wish that I would have had 6, 7, 8 years ago when I was constantly frustrated and constantly coming home on the weekends and just laying in bed and staring at the roof and being sad and, just hating my results with women. I wanted love. I wanted beautiful girls. I wanted to have a deep connection. And, I wanted sex too. And I had none of it. And so I know your time is valuable and you're busy, and I promise that I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to start seeing some better results in your dating life so that you can start going on 2 to 4 dates with good girls who you are actually excited by within, 30 to 90 days. It's completely doable. Or if you're not just trying to date around, well, you can start dating your dream girl exclusively. And I'm talking about without doing the bullshit, without mindlessly swiping on dating apps all day long, without going out clubbing and standing on the wall like a weirdo, without cold DMing girls on Instagram and looking all needy, without any of the bullshit. And the way to do that is by developing a more attractive version of yourself. By number two, once you've built that more attractive version of yourself, well, number two is building a dating app profile that specifically targets the deep evolutionary attraction triggers. Because the thing about it is that attraction is kind of like flavors in food. And if you can tap into the flavors that women like, well, then they don't have to think about it. They're just going to be attracted to you. But most guys do a terrible, terrible, terrible job of presenting themselves the right way on dating apps. And Tinder is 76% men and 24% women. So if you don't effectively show the right signals, then you're not going to stand out and you're going to be left on the sidelines like most guys. But number 3 in this video, I'm going to show you how to get past the fear, how to get past the limiting beliefs, so that you can go out there and when you see the beautiful girls flying by every single day, well, you can go meet them. You can go introduce yourself. And by doing those 3 things, I promise you, because I've seen it in my own life, your dating life will transform very quickly. Okay? And so nothing's for sale, but I will give you some free information in this video and also poke at some of your beliefs that might be holding you back so that you can make your life better. And that's really what it is. Okay, so let's dive on in. Now, who's this video for? First and foremost, you got to be willing to drop your ego and assess your life honestly, because this is the thing that keeps most guys stuck is the ego and the lack of self-honesty. Because the fact of the matter is that most of us have, some problems in our life. Most of us aren't living up to our complete potential. But if we're not willing to look ourselves in the mirror honestly and say, okay, I can improve here, I can improve there, I can improve there. If we never face that, well, then we're obviously not going to be able to improve. If I don't see that there's a problem, well, then I can't fix it. So you have to be willing to drop your ego or else you're going to be stuck where you're at. And if you're happy where you're at, then cool. But if you're not happy where you're at, well, then drop the ego, please. Secondly, you need to have some basic finances in place. Now, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be making 10K a month, not even 5K a month necessarily. But if you're living in your mom's basement and you don't have a job and you can't do much of anything, well, it's probably not time to bring in a girl yet. Because yes, you shouldn't wait until you're perfect to start dating, but you do need to have a foundation. Because when you're trying to survive, Well, you're not really in a place to lead a woman quite yet. So get some basic finances in place first and foremost, and then come back here. Um, Third, you should be decently fit because, again, like you don't have to be a freaking bodybuilder. You don't have to be looking like looking amazing, but you have to take care of yourself, or else you're gonna have to fight a little bit harder to get results from this process. Four, you need to be a long-term thinker because, again, this isn't gonna happen overnight. You didn't get to where you're currently at overnight. It probably took you, you're probably 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It took you a long time, 20 plus years of living life to get stuck in wherever you're currently at with your dating life. And you're having to fight against the gravitational pull of all of that built up time of not taking ideal action, and fixing all of that doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of time. It might take a couple of months. It might take a couple of years, to build the dream dating life. But you will start to see results quickly if you do the work. But you have to have your head in for the long term. Okay, and the thing about it is, if you can have your dream girl in a year or in 2 years, and along the way you can improve yourself and start dating good girls who may not be perfect but who are still great, well, that's still a win, okay? It's better than dating nobody, right? And next, you have to be hardworking. You have to be willing to do a little bit of work and actually apply this stuff. And you need to want a full life and genuine love and not just money. Because, if you just want money and you just want to have like the cool items and you're not looking for a full experience of life, adventure, tribe, connection, love, if that's not what you want, well then, again, we just don't align. This probably won't help you too much, okay? Who this video is not for? Kind of the opposite of everything else I said, okay? You can't be, like, if you can't be honest with yourself, it's not for you. If you're completely broke, it's not for you. If you're looking for quick results, not for you. If you have the doomer black pill mindset and you're just hopeless and women hate you and like you think that everybody's out to get you, this isn't for you. And if you blame everything else except for yourself for your current situation, this isn't for you, okay? Now, before we dive deeper, I'm sure that you're probably worried that whatever I'm going to talk about probably wouldn't work for you, or it sounds too good to be true. And I get it. And I used to think that too. I used to come home and just be sad and be lonely, and I thought that it would never fix itself. But I'm telling you from my own personal experience, this stuff works, okay? And how do I know it works? Well, first of all, because of my own experience, I've applied the stuff in my own life and I've gotten the results. And, you can't lie when you have the results. Numbers, like, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. But secondly, even aside from my own personal experience, I've started coaching many, many men in this area, and they're seeing results. But third, well, this is the stuff that, this is where science and evolutionary biology and psychology and pickup artists, this is the intersection where they all align. All of them point to the same conclusions about women and attraction and dating and sex, and they all point to the same conclusions. So if science, biology, psychology, and pickup artists all say the same thing, well, there's probably some truth to it, okay? So I know this stuff works. And again, a bit more about me. How do I know this works? Well, the old me, I would come home from work when I was in the military, and I would just lay in bed late at night. And like, bro, I would literally just lay in bed and cry because, I was 19, 20, 21 years old, and I'm a lover boy. Like, I want to connect with people. I want to have that genuine connection in my life. And, one of the most important things in this world for me is love and is women. I love women, and I'm not ashamed about it. But when I was lacking that connection, it just, led to me escaping into other things. Escaping into porn, escaping into drugs, escaping into clubs, hoping to fill that void that was created by not being the best version of me and by not having women. And so I was constantly distracted, constantly just in the bullshit. And I started to, strongly dislike women because I was diving into red pill content. And it would just constantly give me this idea that women were terrible and they were hypergamous and they were just so bad. And I started to hate them. And the few girls that I did meet through Tinder, because I was too scared to approach them, so I didn't meet them in person very often. So the few girls that I did have, they weren't the ones who I wanted. I was lonely most weekends, heartbroken every other week. It was rough. And I'll be honest, I had erectile dysfunction around this time because I was watching too much porn. And the first few girls that I was with, I had some serious struggles with ED. And of course, that led to me feeling unconfident all the time. And that carried over into work, into my friendships, into all of life. And, I'm not going to dwell on them for long, but feel free to pause and zoom in if you want to. These are some old Snapchat messages from, girls who I was trying to get involved with who just played me off. 2019, 2020. Depressing stuff. It wasn't a fun time. But let's fast forward to now. Now life is quite nice, I'll be honest. So now I'm dating one or two amazing girls at a time, sometimes a bit more, but I like to keep it nice and simple, and I don't need much from women. I just need, one or two good girls in my life, and that's more than enough for me. But I don't have to struggle. They're constantly there. And I have these fun dates to recharge that leave me more prepared to go out and attack the world and go apply myself to my mission and my purpose. I have genuine connections. I realize now that women are actually great, and it was my fault for not understanding them. There wasn't something wrong with them. I just, number one, I wasn't the right man yet, and number two, I didn't know what women were attracted to. I didn't know what strategies to apply to bring them into my life and keep them. And, now I'm only dealing with the quality of girls who I want to date. And, I know, because I've traveled quite a bit, I know that you can put me in any city in the world. And if I chose to, I could go meet 10 beautiful girls that same day. And it's not everything, but it's a pretty good feeling, bro. I have a full life, a career, a love life, a tribe, mission, health, adventure. Life is full now. And, I never want to be the dating coach who shows a bunch of classless sexual pictures with women and naked photos of women. That's not me. But I do want to emphasize that I have experience with women and I know what I'm talking about. So I blocked out their faces because, again, it's private, it's privacy, and I'm not gonna kiss and tell. But I just want to show you guys some pictures of me with good girls, and it's man, this was Grand Canyon. This is Argentina. Romania. Life is like, my dating life is great now, but it wasn't always that way. It used to suck. So that's how I know it works. Okay. And so I just want you to imagine, bro. Like, imagine that you don't have to stay stuck where you're at. Imagine that 30 days from now, 90 days from now, 6 months from now, your dating life can be completely different. You can have good girls in your life who you actually enjoy being around, who you look at, and as soon as you see them, you're just like, bro, oh my goodness, I'm gonna tear you up. Like, that's how it can be. You don't have to be stuck on the sidelines forever. Okay? So, belief is the first piece to any of this. If you don't believe, you won't take the right actions. And if you don't take the right actions, well, then you won't get the results. But it all starts with belief. So let's move on. Well, how does this work? I'll skip past that part. I want to talk about the 5 reasons why your dating life currently sucks. Because if you're having issues in your dating life, it comes down to one of 5 main reasons. There's nothing else. Okay? So number 1 is that you don't have enough value. Number 2 is that you don't have the right value. Number 3 is that you're not able to convert. Number 4 is that you're not able to retain. And number 5 is that you've just given up. Okay? And so let me dive deeper into each of those. Not enough value. Well, what I mean by that, and this is the most common issue, this is where most guys get stuck, is that, well, if you aren't meeting enough girls, well, then you're not going to have a very good dating life. If you meet 0 girls, you're going to date 0 girls. Does that make sense? And so the question becomes, okay, how do I maximize the amount of girls who I'm meeting? And there's a couple different ways. One option is through dating apps and building a good dating app profile with the right pictures and with the right bio. Another way, number 2, is by approaching women in your day-to-day life and getting past those limiting beliefs and that lack of confidence so that you can approach girls and meet them while you're at the grocery store or at the gym or walking down the street or just existing. Anywhere you see them, be like day-to-day life becomes a dating app because they're literally everywhere. And because one of the things that women look for the most is non-neediness and confidence, well, simply approaching them signals, it implies that you're non-needy and that you're confident. So you have a much higher chance of getting girls who are attracted to you in person as opposed to dating apps because you're already showing things that they want in a partner. Okay? So again, if you're not getting value, if you're not getting enough girls who you're meeting, well then dating apps, meeting them in person, building a more social life, building a stronger social routine. There are 3 simple things. But from there, the second issue is that you're meeting girls now and you're going out on some dates and you're having some fun there, this is the next level. But the girls who you're meeting aren't the right type of value. They're not the right girls. And what I mean by that is that either they aren't attractive enough, they're not up to your physical standards, or number 2, they're not up to your value standards. There's no alignment. And so to fix this, well, then you have to present yourself as a more high quality male, which comes down to things like improving your fitness, improving the way you dress, getting more clear on your mission and your purpose so that you can show that to those who you talk to. And all of those things, well, to the right girls, to the girls who are more attractive and who share similar values, well, that's going to make them more attracted to you. The more attractive a girl is on average, the more selective she's going to be with who she chooses as a partner. So you have to signal better traits if you're going for better women. Okay? But the second part of that is that if you're trying to attract girls who share similar values to you, well, then you have to do a better job of showing those values in your dating app profiles, or you have to do a better job of being around those types of girls when you're out and about. For example, let's say that you are going, what's a good example? You're going out to clubs, in nightclubs and bars and all of that. Well, there's probably not going to be much value alignment. If maybe you're passionate about clubs and you're passionate about EDM music and whatnot. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, clubs might be a good place to meet girls. But if you're an average, like a typical guy, and you want to meet wholesome, high quality women, you probably shouldn't do it at clubs. You have to choose activities that are more aligned towards your values, where there's more likely to be girls who share similar values. Okay. Number 3, not able to convert. This is when you are meeting girls, you're meeting the right girls, but you can't get them out onto dates. And the way to fix this is by improving yourself and being able to show that you have some value and making them want to come on dates with you. The fourth issue is not being able to retain the good girls. So that means, okay, you have her out on a date, but after the first date, she kind of disappears. She's no longer interested. And the fifth problem is that you've just given up. And this is where a lot of guys are at. You know, they've been so hurt by women, and they've been flaked on and played and everything else. And so they kind of quit. And it doesn't always show up as quitting. You know, they'll say things like, oh, I'm just waiting for the future. I'm waiting until I have more money. I'm waiting until I have more status. I'm waiting until I'm a little bit older. But that's just fear in disguise. And it's really it's giving up. Okay? So let's move on. And the fact of the matter is that no matter how bad your dating life is right now, if you get enough of the right girls and you can get them out on dates and you can keep them interested, well, then your dating life is now fixed. Now, I'll give you a roadmap in a second for doing that, but that's the high level. But before the roadmap, I want to dive into the feedback loop. Beliefs create actions, actions create results. So this all comes back to just creating the right beliefs. So I want you to, spend some time just analyzing what your current beliefs are and how those might be impacting your life in a negative way. A lot of guys have negative beliefs like, oh, I'm not good enough yet. I don't have enough time to meet women. Women, there's no good girls nowadays. Women distract from the mission. None of these things are true, but if you believe these things, well, then you're going to take the wrong actions and you won't get results. Okay? I made another video on 5 toxic beliefs that men have up there. So after this video, go ahead and watch that one. It's very, very powerful. But I just wanted to touch on the beliefs very quickly. We'll dive past most of it. Actually, let's stick on this one. So one of the beliefs that is false and is very important to address is that many men believe that dating and pursuing women takes a lot of time and they have to focus on their career and their mission. The truth is that dating and pursuing women does not have to take anything away from the mission. And if anything, it should only add to the mission. How? Well, the truth is that, okay, let's say that you build out a dating app profile that has the right photos that tap into psychological triggers in the woman's mind and can make her attracted to you. Well, when you have that profile that signals the right traits in a genuine, authentic way, well, then you don't have to spend much time swiping. 5-10 minutes a day, it's not much. Okay, so you're getting girls now through the dating app profile. Awesome. Well, what else? Okay, well, we also want to build the in-person approaching side of you so that you can become more confident and just have that skill set. Well, okay, you're at the grocery store, you see a beautiful girl, you want to go meet her, you walk over, you talk to her, you're having a conversation. You guys talk for 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. Once a week, twice a week. Oh no. So we're at 6 minutes total plus 5 minutes a day for the dating app profiles. Okay, so now you're meeting girls through dating apps and through in-person approaches. You're not having to go to clubs. You're not having to add in any bullshit. It's just what you're already doing, just more effectively. Okay, well, from those girls you've met through the dating apps and through in-person approaches, you want to go on a date. Okay, 1 date per week. That's 3 hours. And it might take 5 minutes of texting to set up the date. Simple. No clubs, no BS, no fluff. It doesn't have to take much time. So let's dive deeper into this because, again, a lot of guys have the subconscious perception that women are taken away from the mission. And bro, just imagine that you have this beautiful, feminine, amazing, fun, vibrant, happy, smiling, bubbly girl telling you how much she respects you and is proud of you. and texting you in the morning like, hey babe, I'm so excited to see you this weekend. And I'm so proud of what you're doing. Crush it in the gym today. Crush it at work today. If you had that from the right girl, not a city girl, but from the right girl, do you think you'd be in a better state? Do you think you'd be a bit more fired up? Do you think you'd be more confident? Just maybe, right? And wouldn't that improved state and that improved confidence and that higher motivation, wouldn't that help you in your career and help you in your mission, not hurt you? Really think about this. Because again, if you don't fix the beliefs, then you're going to stay stuck. So I just want to stick with that one for now. There's a lot of other ones, but for now we'll stick with that belief. And like I said earlier, these lies will keep you stuck exactly where you're at. Okay? So what's the actual action steps from this? Like, where do we go from here? Well, let's dive into the process. And this will be another couple minutes. It'll be nice and quick. But like, please stay focused. Because again, like, dating is a very important part of life and you deserve to have it dialed in. But if you don't stay focused and take action differently, well, then you're going to stay stuck. So please stay focused. Okay? It's going to be a couple minutes. So this is what the process looks like. So stage one is about building the man, getting you right. And what this is all about is building you into the most attractive version of yourself. And what that means is getting more clear on your mission, building a better wardrobe, destroying the limiting beliefs. You know, the beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I'm scared to approach, girls don't want to be approached. Getting rid of all those beliefs that are holding you back. And also teaching you the logic of what women look for on a deeper level, on an evolutionary biology level, on a scientific level, on a psychological level. Because when you understand those things, well, then you can present yourself not in a fake way, but in a way that better highlights the traits that women are looking for. Okay? And from that, well, at that point, you want to get all of the attraction triggers working in your favor. Okay? That is building the man. Now, what are the attraction triggers that I talk about right here? Well, there's a couple of different things that women look for in a partner. Resourcefulness, genetic strength, status, confidence, and non-neediness. So if you can get all those things working in your favor, well, then you're going to attract women without even trying to. Okay? So that's stage one. Build the man, getting you right. Stage two, once we have you right, well, at that point, it's time to go meet women. And it's all about adding volume of women. How do we do that? Well, by creating a profile on dating apps that's true to you and taps into the attraction triggers. Now, this is where most guys get stuck, okay? If you're using dating apps, you can't just throw up a bunch of random photos willy-nilly and expect magical results. It just doesn't work for most guys. Like, if you're a Chad or a Tyrone, if you're in the top 10% of guys physically wise, you know, you can get some pretty consistent great results without even trying. But the fact of the matter is that most guys aren't in the top 10% physically. That's just how statistics work. It's not. So if you're a relatively average looking guy or even a slightly above average looking guy, well, you have to set up your photos in such a way that you're very systematic about it. And again, you're able to tap into the things that women are looking for. And again, not in a fake way, but in a way that maximizes your chances of actually getting her out on a date so that you can have the chance to show her who you are. Because it's not that you're unattractive and that, you know, girls wouldn't be attracted to you. It's that there's so many guys on these apps. And so girls only go for the ones who seem the best. but they don't even know who you are yet because they never have the chance to meet you. So you have to give yourself every advantage because Tinder, for example, is 76% men, 24% women, 76% men. So you're fighting, it's 3 guys for every 1 girl. Okay? So you have to stand out. Now, beyond that, you have to start approaching girls. You have to start meeting 2 to 4 girls a week. And you have to build a more social routine. Okay? That's the high level. So first we get you right. Then we add in some extra volume, get some more women that you're actually meeting. And then we optimize. And that's all about continuing to improve yourself, your confidence, getting rid of more of those negative beliefs. And at this point, you're really just kind of enjoying the results. You're going on 2 to 4 dates a month with good girls you actually enjoy. And it doesn't have to be different girls. I mean, if your goal is to have one good girl, which is, that's what I'm aiming for soon enough when I find my wife. If that's your goal, then do it. You don't have to go on 2 to 4 dates a month with different girls. You can just choose one great girl and get close to her. And it's amazing. And these results, it comes from, again, just meeting 2 to 4 girls a week in person in your day-to-day schedule and through 10 minutes a day of swiping on dating apps. It's very simple. Very simple. And any guy can do this process. Anyone. And so from here, we have 2 choices, okay? You can stay where you're at and keep thinking that you'll get the girl one day. You can keep saying that women aren't a priority as you're beating off every night. I mean, clearly they're a priority. If you have to watch them every night and every time they walk by, you're looking at them, they're a priority, bro. Don't kid yourself. Working hard at the job, but still wanting sex, still wanting companionship, filling that void deep down. Spending weekends and downtime alone, deep down wishing that she was there. Being afraid to approach girls, seeing them walk by every single day, and rejecting yourself. She's not rejecting you, rejecting yourself. Not being excited by the girls you take out on dates, not having true confidence around women. I mean, bro, it's a shitty place to be in. And you have to commit to a better life because one of the biggest regret actually of people who are on their deathbed is that they didn't do more. The regret isn't that they didn't make enough money. It's not that they shouldn't have done some specific action. No, the regret most often is that they didn't do more. And so I don't want you to get to, the end of your life or even a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and look back and think bro, what the fuck did I do? Where did the time go? Why am I still alone? And, one of my close friends, he's 39 years old and he's single and he struggles with women. And he has money. He's a good looking dude, but he struggles. And it's because when we don't build this skill set when we're young, it carries over for the rest of our lives. So, you can change nothing, but I promise it's not worth it. The second option is to go all in on yourself and to demand change, to move out of your comfort zone. And what that looks like is believing that you can go get your dream girl today. You won't have a need for escapism like porn and video games and all the bullshit because you have a full life. You're going to work harder at your job and at your business because you have a better state and more motivation. You'll be going on amazing dates and having great sex and being able to actually recover in your downtime. And why I say actually recover is because, excuse me, why I say actually recover is because most guys, when they're in their downtime, well, they're just on their phone scrolling, wasting time, watching Netflix, and they don't really feel like they're recovering. It's just mindless bullshit. There's no recovery. They don't feel refreshed. They don't feel energized. When you're with a good girl, you feel energized. You feel recovered. And, you know, beyond just the girl, this is about enjoying life now, not just in the future. Not putting off your enjoyment of life for some distant future date. It's possible. Okay? And so, what now? Well, like I said, I'm not selling anything. There's a few different options now. You can do nothing, or you can book a free call. And on that call, I'm going to spend about 30 minutes just hearing you out on your exact situation and seeing, where there might be some room for you to tweak things. Maybe you can change this. Maybe you can change this. And if you want some more specific coaching, then we can talk about that. But I will provide some free value on that call so that you can start moving in the right direction. And the truth of the matter is that, when we have accountability and when we have outside resources pushing us, well, what gets tracked gets improved. What receives focus gets improved. Most guys, they just never apply much focus to this because, they're too egotistical. And so I promise that you can have a better dating life and a more full all-around life where you have tribe, where you have connection, where you have good health. You can have it all. Now, it takes time. It's not going to be easy, but you can have it all. So, I have one last question for you. Are you ready to change? If you are, book a call down below, and I'll talk to you soon. But regardless, get out there. Please crush it. I believe in you. Please believe in yourself too. Okay?